Can you hear that, Jesse? Can you hear the sound of rockets in the background? Rockets in the background here for Pomelo Season 3, another episode of Pitch Deck on the with Jesse of EOS Bees. So welcome back. We actually had the pleasure of meeting for Season 2, your Season 2 proposal. So I'm interested to dive in and find out what you guys did since Season 2. With the funding that you were able to acquire, and what's next on the radar for Season 3?
Hey, Jimmy. So happy to be here. I appreciate the opportunity to share what we're doing at EOS Bees. I first wanted to just give a big thanks to the Pomelo team, the EOS Nation team, the EOS Asia team. They put on an incredible platform and opportunity for projects like mine to get funding. And this is our third Pomelo season, and we most definitely would not be here if Pomelo did not exist. So huge thanks. Very grateful to have the opportunity to have a grant on Pomelo. And so since the second season, we've been working really hard to solve the main challenge that we've had, which is how to incentivize and compensate a large team to engage on a tweet. From day one, I've been trying to solve this problem. It sounds simple, but it ended up not being so simple. And we were doing it manually, and it was very tedious. And since we have talked with the Tippett team, they have built some technology for us that has really changed the game. And that's basically what we've been working on this since the season. We have some like evergreen piece of content that we like to work on. We have our EOS DApp ecosystem, which we update every quarter. We have our EOS beginners guide that we update every quarter, but we're doing less of content creation and really focusing on what we call swarms. So Tippett has allowed us to automatically compensate our bees for engaging on a tweet. And it's very kind of customizable. We can do different tokens. We can do different amounts depending on the strength of a Twitter profile, or even different amounts depending on the swarm. So they've made an amazing platform. So I'd also encourage everyone watching this to check out Tippett because they're a huge contributor to this.
Yeah, we're actually going to have Mark on the show later today, so that's exciting. And he's been helping a few people and in the space a long time, so that's really cool that he's kind of helped you guys out. For people who might not know though, because I want to just stop a little bit, right? So you guys are mainly looking at social interaction and how to promote what's happening within the EOS system, and in a sense, kind of like keep the record straight, right? Like keep it away from people delimiting into things that were relevant 4 years ago that aren't relevant today, because a lot's changed, right? Since the absence of Block One, and Eden on EOS has now become a thing. Like there's all of these different avenues that are playing a part, from the EOS Network Foundation to Helios and back to your regular block producers. So one thing that you said that people might not quite understand is how does people who are engaging with the EOS Bees to help promote EOS through your network, how does that translate into them being rewarded?
Well, so we have our technology that our core team, we choose how much to reward them, what tokens, but I guess I don't fully understand the question.
Yeah, so this kind of plays into the Tippett, like you could kind of mentioned about the Tippett, right? So and I kind of, so for engaging and interacting, on Twitter, for example, the general populace, as I understand it, are rewarded minimally, right? Like they're kind of rewarded as well. So like how how does that kind of work? Because you kind of went into this last time, right? Like people who are engaging with the ecosystem, who are helping to promote EOS.
Yes.
There's more than just doing it out of their own free will. So I'd like to go back, for anyone who missed it, you can see the season 2 proposal as well in the interview that we did, but you kind of explained it there. And if we could get a little bit of a recap in case anyone's new to EOS Bees, to just see how the organization is structured and how it works. Sorry, maybe my question wasn't clear there.
Yeah, for sure. So it's not the general populace. So we have a process to sign up, and we have to protect against certain things, like a civil. So we have our bees make a video themselves. You have to have an EOS account, and your Twitter account. We do a light qualitative check on the Twitter account. So we have our EOS chatbot. That's also Pomelo Grant from Kevin Damkin, or AKA Chevs. So the bees will sign up through that chatbot, and they get rewarded. It's like a membership NFT. So Tippett has built membership NFTs, and you get a certain membership NFT depending on the strength of your Twitter profile. And all you have to do, we will notify you on Telegram when there's an active swarm. You just click that link, you like and retweet, and 12 to 24 hours later, you will get some compensation. And we want to at least give a little bit of incentive to do that. It's super quick. We try to make it as easy as possible for our bees to take a few seconds out of their day, like retweet, that's it, and your rewards go to your Tippett profile.
Yeah, so I guess, and I do apologize because I did say general populace, but so anyone who wants to be a part of this can apply to be kind of a community member, and once you're a member, then you can kind of be rewarded. So that's kind of how it's outlined. And I think that's really interesting too, because what we have then is we have so one of my favorite projects actually, who also does a few things on EOS, but on a couple other networks as well. They had this thing where they were doing these promotions in Twitter Spaces, and they would just all show up and raid these Twitter Spaces, and show up, and people were really taking a liking to them, right? Because they were doing it in kind of a productive way. They were going and they were engaging with other projects, and that's kind of the way that I kind of feel your tweets are working, right? It's not just like a retweet, tag 10 other people, and be annoying, because that happens a lot in the Twitter Spaces, right? It's more structured around people who actually care, right? So you're not just pulling in numbers, you're pulling in numbers of people who actually want to go in there and want to promote EOS, as opposed to. And so I think that this is just a really cool concept. So the funding that you guys get, can you give us a breakdown on the proposal of how this funding is distributed?
Yeah, so we have a certain cost to do the swarm, and in the proposal we detailed 4 different items that contribute to the total cost. So we have a total cost, and depending on how much we raise, you could just take the total we raised divided by the cost per swarm, and that will give you how many swarms we're going to do for EOS public good swarms for the season 3. And so the money is directly going into the amount of swarms that we do.
Okay, very cool. And yeah, so I'm going to pull up the proposal here for EOS Bees. Sorry, that was my fan club in the background there. And I guess this is your second. I believe this is your second proposal, right? You guys entered during season 2. I think.
We were in season 1.
Okay, sorry. I only interviewed you in season 2. I'm just all over the place with my weird, rampant, haphazard facts today. I guess I'm out of practice. Welcome to the first episode ever of season 3 Pomelo Pitch Deck with Jesse of the EOS Bees. I'm kind of new at this season. So I'm going to pull this up, and we can just kind of quickly have a look. So what you can do is you can go to Pomelo again, and this is a quadratic funding mechanism, so you can vote to support as many projects as you want, right? And you can read about the whole breakdown of what the EOS Bees is and what they're going to use the funding for right there. So I'm going to actually put this into the links. If anyone has any questions or any comments out there, please do let us know. And Jesse's probably more than happy to respond or ask or any of those things. From my end, I want to know about the EOS Bees network and how you feel it's grown since the last season when we had you online, and how you feel the season 2 round of funding helped enable you to get to a place, like you said, without Pomelo funding, you wouldn't be where you were today, right? Like you that was kind of how you came in. So what has Pomelo been able to do, for you and your organization?
Yeah, so the Pomelo funds that we've been able to raise have been the vast majority of the funds, the total funds we've been able to raise. And so our network, so you asked about our network. Our network is what makes EOS Bees unique. And if we go from like season to season 1 was a big network too quickly. Season 2, small network, but we're head down developing the tech. Season 3, now we're getting a big network again, because the word of mouth of our bees that are excited to get these rewards for doing something so easy of a like and a retweet, that is starting to catch on. And so for season 3, we are projecting at least 500 active bees, and I think we could probably surpass that. Right now we're at around 210-ish, but every day we're growing. Like every day, around like 4 to 7 new bees join, and we have amazing community managers that are providing a lot of support for newbies. Definitely some of them are from outside of cryptocurrency, like totally newbies. And so we're relying.
I see what you did there. I like that. They're newbies. It's great.
Yeah. So I also want to give a shout out to EOS support, because we basically tell them, okay, we'll give you like swarm support, but anything else, you should be going to eosupport.com. And that's a great resource for our bees to really feel comfortable in the EOS ecosystem. And we've been getting really good feedback on our support, the bee support and the EOS support. And so, yeah, our network is kind of like our golden goose egg, or our golden honey bee hive. And we want to grow that. So our long-term goal is, we feel like around 10,000 is a really good number, because, for example, if you look at, like if you just type in hashtag blockchain or hashtag cryptocurrency on Twitter search, that top search, that top post, we need around 10,000 will get us to that top most of the time. And I also, I'll stop there. I do want to share a swarm that we did today, like a couple hours ago. I think maybe cool to kind of.
Yeah, of course. Go for it.
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen,
or you can drop it into the private chat, whichever you prefer.
I'll drop it in the private chat.
So while you pull that up, I think, again, you can see, they built the influencer outreach process, the EOS Bees informational website, they updated the beginner's guide, the DApp ecosystem, all of these things that they've done. Now, what I think is quite interesting as well is that you've kind of structured this so the amount of donations will equate to the number of swarms that you're able to do per week, right? So it's kind of based on the donations basically will qualify the activity level that you guys will be able to work with, which I think is very structured and quite unique to actually have that in the proposal, which I quite like, right? So people will actually be able to quantify the progress that they see through the donations that come through. So I think that's interesting, and I'm excited. And yeah, Ben also says, and on Reddit, which is interesting too. So okay, so I'm gonna pull this open.
So by the way, just for Ben's comment, Reddit is on its roadmap. We would love to be on Reddit, and I think we can help convince them that that should be the next platform that they support. All right, so you're pulling up a swarm that we did a couple hours ago. If you can also get that's a reply. So if you can just click that, and then it'll show what he's replying to. Yeah, perfect. No. Or you just scroll down. Yes, just scroll down a little bit more. Just directly what he's replying to. Yeah. So this guy, he's got around 25,000 followers. He's a mid-level influencer. He's basically saying here that Solana will eventually be irrelevant, just like what happened to EOS. And this, Jimmy, is exactly the type of thing that you were bringing up earlier, that there's a distinction that a lot of people don't know between the old EOS with Block 1 and the new EOS with the ENF and Helios and all the other great people in the new EOS. And so we had luckily a great community members reply to this, and we swarmed Felix's response. It was a very positive response. It did not insult the person who we responded to. We have something called the B code: no insults, no causing negative reactions. We will never swarm someone that's insulting or having negativity in that tweet. And so thank you, Felix. I hope you enjoyed your swarm. And it was the first time we swarmed Felix. Felix is he's a content creator, so he's actually a really good person to swarm because his face is out there, and we want to elevate people like Felix. And so, you know, Aaron from Greymass had a great reply. Chris Barnes had a great reply, but Felix, we were very happy to swarm Felix. And so this is like the quintessential type of content that we love to swarm. Replying to misinformation, replying to negativity. That's why I started EOS Bees in the first place, because it was so negative out there,
right,
for EOS, and it's still out there. Now it's getting less, and I can feel the momentum shifting. There's still people like this. We just need to be really kind and just educate and let them know that we're working with something different now. It's the new EOS. And as long as we can just hammer that point home, I think eventually we'll have a narrative turnaround. And that's the whole mission of EOS Bees.
Well, and I mean, cryptocurrency moves so fast, and I try not to be negative. I try to be positive in the face of a lot of negativity. But I think one of the biggest problems is the short attention span, and the fact that the majority of people who are interacting with crypto wouldn't necessarily be able to interact with it in the real world, right? Like, we've got such a thing in the real world as accredited investors. We've got such a thing in the real world as the inability in most countries to actually blatantly lie about what you're doing, or about what other people are doing, depending upon where you are, right? Like, the legislation in certain countries, in Canada, for example, like, you can't get away with certain things if they're actually false, right? And so what annoys me, honestly, is that the majority of people who are whining and complaining and crying and calling out FUD, they're doing it without actually understanding the benefit of having an ecosystem and a network that anyone can participate, right? So they're calling the kettle black, as it were, because of the simple reason that they're not giving decentralization a chance to mature. And I think that that's what really, kills me about EOS. Is like EOS is a really interesting story that I think in the future will be a success story because of all of the crap that the network went through and all of the things that we had to overthrow. And so I think what you guys are doing by going out there and educating people about the fact that EOS is no longer block one, right? About the fact that the ENF is coming in, about the fact that Pomelo grants are offering small businesses in the crypto space the ability to go out there and raise funds that actually help them build. I think all of these things are really important. So definitely, when I first heard about EOS Bees, I was curious. But the more that I see you guys, and the more that I see your swarms grow, and the positivity that you bring to it, in the face of a lot of negativity where people just don't care and aren't polite about other people's feelings, I think that's really important, right? You're always going to have to battle things. And I like the fact that you guys choose your battles. And I like the fact that you try to pinpoint the biggest impact for the most positive posts. And you do that on a daily basis or on a weekly basis, right? That's way more important to me than just throwing out random comments and not having interactions with them. So definitely hats off to you, Jesse, and the EOS Bees and everything that you guys have created and built.
Thank you, Jimmy. Yeah, we try to be as positive as possible, and we think that's going to contribute to the most welcoming community, because that's what we want, right? We want new people to join EOS, and we want to be really welcoming and just supportive. And yeah.
So yeah, if you could just maybe to finish, for people who are out there who might be new to the EOS Bees, what's the best way to get in contact? What's the best way to maybe become a bee yourself, and engage on the other side of this, on the community side of this? Obviously, funding is appreciated. If you believe in what the EOS Bees are doing, then you can go to Pomelo. You can donate, 1 EOS or 2 EOS, and that's quadratic mashing. So that goes a long way to help the funding. But there might be people out there who don't have money to donate, or who are new to EOS and just want to engage and interact with the positivity and the blockchain and what EOS has to offer. How can you become a bee yourself? How can you, become part of these swarms and help to enrich and enlighten this community?
Yeah. So you can go to our Twitter, EOS_Bees. The pinned post will have an article on Bywire. That article will have a few links to register now. That link will take you to Telegram. On Telegram, it'll load up the EOS chatbot made by Chevs, who's got a Pomelo grant. The EOS chatbot will ask you questions. You'll answer them, and then give us some time. Give us 24 hours to review your application, and then if you join our Discord, which is the link on our profile, like our profile link. That's our Discord link. So if you go on our Discord and you join us, the Swarm chat, there's also Swarm questions to ask questions, Swarm information. So if you go to Swarm information and you scroll all the way down on that channel, you'll see a video. It's like a Tippet tutorial. And that video will show you how to check if your registration is complete. Basically, if you have an NFT, your registration is complete. And then every single swarm that you participate in, you will get compensated in cryptocurrency.
Love it. And yeah, I just dropped 3 links in the side. So definitely you can check out the latest swarm by Felix that we went over that's still on the screen. You can check out the EOS Bees homepage for the Twitter, and the Pomelo grants. EOS Bees is in there as well. And I just, like, as a final thought, I think it's cool because, like, I've interviewed most of the people that you're talking about. that you're working with that are helping to enable you, and you're helping to enable them. And
Yeah.
it's just really interesting that you're using Tippet, you're using the EOS chatbot, which was a new proposal. I think, season 2, one of the first ones that I interviewed. Like all of these people who are out there who are community members, you're just kind of, I think, tying them all together, and that's really, really quite noble and quite awesome. So, definitely good luck to you. If you want to interact, go interact on Twitter, or ask any questions, probably in the EOS Discord or the EOS Telegram. I know Jesse's around, and a few other people are around as well. So yeah, thank you for joining another episode of Pomelo Pitch Deck. We're actually going to be back in about 3 to 4 minutes right here on this channel with another episode. We'll be here pretty much off Friday and Monday. So if you're out there and you are a Pomelo grant looking for funding, or looking to come out here and explain your case a little bit more thoroughly than just what the print states, then please do get in touch with us over at GenerEOS, because we'd be happy to host you. Good luck, Jesse. I look forward to seeing what you guys continue to build. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day, night, wherever you guys are, and go EOS.
Go EOS.
Bye.
Be the bee.